Coffee and Headlines is brought to you by the generous support of our viewers and the following community partners: Best Cord Cutting TV, Bravo's Restaurant Bar, El Rey Lounge de Versalles, Joint Boutique Hotel and Cowork, Monzon Brewing Company, Puerto Vallarta Neurofeedback, Puerto Vallarta Owners Reps, Oculto, and Siam Cocina Thai. Thank you for your support, and thank you for supporting our community partners. Good morning. Welcome back to Coffee and Headlines. Here we are. We're live on YouTube. We're live on Facebook with the sole purpose of connecting with each other, connecting with everything wonderful that Puerto Vallarta has to offer, connecting with news from our city, our state, and our country, and of course, connecting with whatever questions, comments, or adventures you bring to the table through your comments. Today is Wednesday, June 4th, and we have a cute broadcast. Well, it's not a cute broadcast. I'm really excited about sharing a Mexican word, Paco, really. Sharing a Spanish word with you today. And I growl when I say that because I have a lot of enthusiasm. I have a lot of mitote. And that is the word that we're going to explore today, the word mitote. But not yet. I have a couple of quick news items that I wish to share with you, just in case you heard through the grapevine about the Costco fiasco yesterday, and then another bit of news about that tax that the government wants to impose on foreign visitors. It turns out, well, I don't want to get ahead of myself. First of all, as always, a capital letter Q will get your comment showcased later on. And a capital letter N, as in new, will give you a lovely little welcome if you're watching live for the first time. If you're part of the silent majority, we love you. And if you're watching later on the replay on YouTube or on Facebook, then we love you as well. So now let's take a look at the news. Maybe you were at Costco yesterday. Maybe you were not, but you heard about this. But the store was where are the news? Paco, put the news on the screen. Bam. Maybe you heard about this, but people shopping at Costco were unceremoniously evacuated in the middle of the day yesterday. And this evacuation had to do with a short circuit in a transformer located at the store. The incident caused voltage spikes and dips in the area, so the supermarket's internal security protocols were immediately activated and everyone present was evacuated as a precautionary measure. It didn't amount to anything beyond that. And as I was mentioning earlier, it turns out there's a little obstacle that has come up with this tourist tax. The National Human Rights Commission has filed a constitutional challenge before the Supreme Court of Justice of Mexico against the tax on foreigners included in the Puerto Vallarta revenue law recently approved by the Jalisco State Congress. The National Human Rights Commission points out that the regulation establishes an additional charge that is not adequately justified, considering factors that are not consistent with the nature of this type of tax when updating it. And they say the fees should be fixed and equal for those who receive the same service. Tómala. So we are awaiting for responses and reactions from the local government. Interestingly enough, a similar tax has been imposed or established in the state of Quintana Roo. So we'll see what happens. In the meantime, well, the tax, which was announced to be voluntary, is in limbo. Now, I want to talk about this great word because of, and it came to mind for a couple of reasons. two things happened. Well, first of all, I went away for a quick trip. And of course, I was all excited about that. And I went away with Lars, and Lars needed a place to keep Wendy, his puppy. So Lars was going to take Wendy to these friends' house, friends of ours, and in anticipation of our trip. So I said, "Can I come along? I know that you're just going to drop Wendy off, and that's basically it, but I still want to come along." And I thought to myself, why do I want to come along? Well, because I am feeling mitote. Mitote. I always share dirty words with you. Today, it's not a dirty word, it's mitote. I invite you to embrace this awesome word because I'm about to tell you all about it and what it means. Now, the term mitote is used in Mexico to refer to excessive enthusiasm about something or someone, a noisy party, a problem, or a riot. Mitote, the word, has its roots in pre-Hispanic culture. The word comes from the Nahuatl words mitoti, which means dancer, and itotia, which means to dance, and originally designated a ritual dance for religious or war purposes. You can picture all these Aztecs or all these indigenous people in the middle of a ceremony, often accompanied by music and dancing and drinking and the use of substances such as peyote, with the goal of communicating with the gods or celebrating important events such as the corn harvest. And by the way, we've been popping our corn ever since the beginning of times. The Aztec in Nahuatl called popcorn momochtli, and the name meant toasted and popped corn. And this was invented in Mesoamerica. We don't know the Aztec name for Netflix or going to the movies, but that's okay. But I thought you would want to know about momochtli. Anyhow, mitote can be used in all kinds of situations. Say your best friend tells you, "I'm going to go to Home Depot because I need a good screw," and you want to tag along. Well, you can say, "Yo vengo de mitotero." I'm here just for the sake of it, just because I have nothing else to do. You know? Yo vengo de mitotero. But you see, the word is not always uh, it's not always a good thing. You know, there are good mitotes and there are not so good mitotes. What happens when you find yourself at a bar and somebody has been behaving badly, and all of a sudden um, a ruckus ensues? Well, you know, the person that started it all could be called a mitotera. So being a mitotero or somebody that starts ruckuses cannot necessarily or exclusively be a good thing. And if you are watching this happen, you might say or you might talk about it as se armó el mitote. A mitote ensued. There was there was a ruckus at the bar. Wigs started flying from one place to another. Or maybe you're trying to get a good night's sleep, but you can't because the bar next door is very, very loud and it's late at night. You or your pussy might say, "Bola de mitoteros, what a bunch of loud noise making people." So this is a word that I use all the time to express a feeling of enthusiasm that I feel all the time. So whether it is to express excessive enthusiasm or if you are witnessing a problem or a riot like what happened yesterday at Costco, se armó el mitote yesterday afternoon. Um, and that's all I have to say. Please embrace mitote. It's a great word. You won't offend anyone unless you call your best friend, a pinche mitotera or something like that if they're making much noise or whatever. And that's the end of that. Ha. Okay, now let's take a quick look at the weather forecast just to see what's going on out there. Boom, boom. These clouds are taking over our skies. Go back where you came from, clouds. Stop making mitote. It is 30 degrees out there. Humidity is at 69%. Our weather forecast for today indicates that it's going to be a humid day. What else is new? With mostly cloudy skies throughout the day, a low chance of rain, a high temperature of 32, and a low temperature of 26. Tomorrow, Thursday, we can expect a humid day with mostly cloudy skies throughout the day. A chance of rain of 12%. That's higher than today. Today we only have 5%. A high temperature of 32 and a low temperature of 26. And then Friday, partly cloudy skies in the morning with rain in the afternoon, a 49% chance of rain, a high temperature of 31 and a low temperature of 26. I actually woke up this morning to wet sidewalks and wet streets, so I imagined it must have rained over the weekend. Now, here's my very wholesome and very subtle reminder that you should take a second of your day to vote on our weekly poll. It doesn't take much time. You'll find the poll in our show notes. That's where we put the link. I won't tell you what the question for the week is because you will be inclined to answer it in your comments today, and that is not the idea. The idea is to actually tally your responses. It's a great way to find out about who we are and how we think and what we think and this, that, and the other. At the same time, if you have any interesting suggestions for questions or polls that you are wondering about or you would like to submit for consideration, just write your question in the comments and we'll be happy to take a look at that in just a second. Last but not least, a big reminder of Sing the Story. This is going to happen tomorrow at the Joint Boutique Hotel and Co-work. We take a look at the artistic innovations that Richard Rodgers and Oscar Hammerstein II introduced to the American musical that were not popular before. So we take a look at 10 specific elements that not only were introduced in their successful musicals such as Oklahoma and The King and I and The Sound of Music, but that also paved the way for other musicals, more contemporary musicals, to be able to succeed. It's going to be a lot of fun. So if you want to stay away from the humidity and enjoy a little bit of music and video and dancing and merriment and mitote in air-conditioned comfort, 5 o'clock, Joint Boutique Hotel is the place to go. Last, before we dive into our comments, today in the spotlight, I'm looking forward to interviewing two new theater directors that have landed in town. I believe they are from Las Vegas. I could be wrong. But when our friend Sandy McDonald of Teatro Sin Borders started looking for new directors for the upcoming season, she found these gentlemen who have moved to Puerto Vallarta and want to introduce or contribute with their knowledge and experience to the community theater scene in Puerto Vallarta. So this should be an interesting interview. I'm taping it today at 4 o'clock at the Joint if you want to stop by and say hello. Meanwhile, we looked at one of the interviews that I taped last week over the weekend. The other interview that I did was with Poncho Dávalos of the Gay Plus Community Center, who had some interesting things to say about all the different programs that go on at the community center. So we're going to take a look at that, and afterwards we will take a look at your comments. Here we go. So here we are. This is the spotlight, and I'm sitting here with my friend Poncho Dávalos. Do you prefer Poncho or Alfonso?
Poncho, because Alfonso sounds very formal, like back on 1955. And I'm not that age. No offense to 1955 people, but yes.
1955 was a good year. They tell me I was not there, but 1955 was a good year. So
Well, my mom was born 1956, so probably it was quite close enough. So that's good.
that's good. Now, tell me a little bit of what brings you here today.
Well, first of all, thank you for giving me this time to speak about the community center. I'm part of the board. So if you don't know, or well, you know, but probably some people they don't know that there is a gay community center here in town.
And the proper name is?
Vallarta Gay Plus Community Center.
Okay.
Or in Spanish, Centro Comunitario Vallarta Gay Plus. Okay. So I've been here for 16 years. So this is the first time that I see an initiative like this, and I'm very happy to be part of that.
For people that don't know what goes on at the community center, what goes on at the community center?
Okay, well, first of all, it's something that it's not just for the LGBT community. I mean, we have medical service for the LGBT community, but if someone that it lives outside of this area needs any type of medical service or medical orientation, we can provide it. But I'm gonna just go to the facts about that. We provide the protocol of PEP, doxy prep. We do the like some testing for some how do you say it in English, ATD, ATS, enfermedades de transmisión sexual,
Sexually transmitted diseases.
so that's
STDs.
yes. So keep it in mind. And they
I'd rather not.
no, no, at least just the concept of that.
Yeah, know what to do to avoid them.
Yes. And well, we also do, well, we have a psychologist there, we have a nurse, we have a doctor there, and we also have activities in the afternoon, like people, they can go and watch a movie on Tuesday. We have a support group for people that they have abuse of substance too. We have an HIV support group too. We have a ballroom too, salsa classes, yoga classes, English classes. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we are very busy.
That's wonderful. And where can people find out about all these activities?
Well, if they go to the Facebook, which is Vallarta Gay Plus Community Center or Vallarta Gay CC, actually, they can find Vallarta Gay CC. They can find that the same on Instagram too, and yeah.
That's great. Now, I know, and I'm grateful that we're finding out more information about the community center, which, if I recall correctly, is located where the original Vallarta co-work used to be, right?
Exactly. That's what it is. It's like a super easy to find it, because when you pass the Malecon and when it's the Corp, it's a bank, Santander Bank. Then it's the above the Santander is the space where we are, and also, well, next to that or below, it's a famous strip club named Anthropology. So if you get lost about the Santander, and like, just remember Anthropology, and you will get it.
Fantastic. Well, it's a landmark. It's a landmark for those of us that have been there. Now, I know that today you have an important announcement to make, which we've talked about at Coffee and Headlines, but it's great to hear it directly from one of the members of the board.
Thank you.
What's going on?
Well, we've been so grateful and for all this, well, that people, they've been very cooperative with us. So we decided to create this initiative, actually, to replicate a program that was on AMAPAS, right? In AMAPAS is named Taxi Safe or Taxi Seguro. So we decided to create this initiative or this program named Zona Safe. So what Zona Safe is? Zona Safe, it's a program where people from the LGBT community, they can, if they have an issue with the authorities or the police, that they can report that through our website too. And also we have a WhatsApp group. It's very easy, and I'm gonna just be very specific about this. We have three important pillars about the program. Three, which is number one is prevention, which is to educate people about what they can not do on the street, right? to educate people that don't do these things. If not, you're gonna get into trouble, right? That's the part of prevention, to educate people. Number two, eyes on the street. So how we accomplish that? Well, we have the WhatsApp group too, that business owners that they want to join to the Zona Safe WhatsApp group. I can give you the email that they can send an email directly there in the community center, and then they can join that group. So that's why it's eyes on the street. We are planning to do in phase two, hopefully soon, a Q patrol. In the States, I've been told that in Seattle it was a great program that the community back on the day, they decided to take the lead on that and protect their own community. So it's not like we are gonna do something against the police or something, because we're working together. That's important that people know that. And also it's just to be a witness, just again, eyes on the street, right? And if in the event someone needs or wants to do to put a claim, just to do a follow-up, because many people, they come here and they don't want to do a report or something, because they don't speak the language too, because they feel that probably would be a waste of time. Well, it's important that we are here. We create the program to do a follow-up. So that's why I mentioned that there are three important pillars, or the basic ones, that make the program.
Let's talk a little bit about prevention, and let me ask you a question. As we know, being part of the LGBTQ community can be very different in different countries. And as we know, Puerto Vallarta welcomes people from many different countries, which may or may not have their expectations aligned with the local culture. And
Yes.
you know where I'm going.
Yeah.
What kinds of things get visitors from other countries into trouble as far as prevention?
Okay.
Um, and what can people be a little bit more mindful when they're walking around
Yeah.
Puerto Vallarta?
Well, first of all, it's not to because we had this conversation with the chief of police in the area. um it like a not do any disturb on the street, like a make a lot of noise, something like that, right? Or to kid a dog, but also not peeing on the street, not having sex on the street too, not being naked on the street, or not to get any substance on the street too, which probably for us is more like a very common sense, right? But are different parts of the world that, in Amsterdam, for example, that drugs, for example, are legally and you can use them, right? I mean, it is a fact, right? But it's just to prevent people to inform and obey the local laws, right? So for us, it's common sense, but it's important that people they know. That's part of the prevention.
What about public displays of affection? Where do you feel people should be in terms of when they're walking down the streets?
Like a holding hands or
Like
kiss,
holding hands?
that's not a problem.
That's not a problem.
That's not a problem, because this is one of the conversation that we had with the police chief too, in that covers like Contestinas and Mapas, Zona Romantica and Centro, and a little bit farther too. So they don't have any problem of that, right? They are, as I said, they are working with us, cooperating, so they don't have any problem of that. They say the only thing is just those things that if you do all those things, well, you can get into trouble, but they don't have any problem of that.
How can people further support the projects and programs that the community center offers?
Well, I will invite them that they find us on social media. We have someone that is there answering the messages, okay? Or if not, feel free to stop by the community center. Sometimes I'm there, and if not, someone else will be there. If I'm there, I will be very happy to do a tour in the community center to show you the installations, what we've been doing, and what we do, and the space where we do our press conference like the last time, or the movies we're putting there, and also we have this place about what we've been accomplished, how we start, our plan, what we accomplish, and what we are planning to do too. So we have a great executive director, which is Pedro Lopez. He's a guy from Jalisco, but he lived and worked in the States for so long. So he retired like 3 years ago, probably, and then he decided to give back to the community. He has his background, it's in the medical field too, so he felt that he wants to do something for the community center.
Excellent.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Gracias. Hasta luego. Bye.
And that was Poncho Dávalos telling us about all the wonderful work that this new Gay Plus Community Center is doing to keep everyone safe. I am so happy that Poncho talked about common sense. And I want to throw my 2 cents just because I'm curious about where you're at with some of the things that I'm going to talk about. One thing, and I'm saying this not as a complaint, I'm just putting it out there. You can agree or you can disagree, but I am curious about your opinion. And this has to do with public displays of affection. And I'm not necessarily only talking about same sex couples. One thing is learning that the police has no problem with public displays of affection. And another thing is to deal with the fact that there are people, not the authorities, but there are other people out there that just might have a problem with it. And that could be a perfect prescription for a potential mitote. Let me be specific. If I was walking hand in hand with my same sex partner down the streets of Emiliano Zapata, well, I mean, that's known as a tourist area, so that might be okay. But I would not want to do it walking down the Malecon or waiting in line at the movie theater or shopping in El Pitillal. Again, while the police may not have a problem with this, you may be asking for trouble if you do something like that. At the same time, and this has nothing to do with body types, when I see people walking down the street with barely any clothes, I mean, I know we're a tourist town. I know that, you go to the beach to walk around with very few clothes. But what are people doing wearing teeny weeny bikinis while they're walking 5 blocks away from the beach is a mystery to me. Am I being a prude? Probably. Am I too old for these things? Maybe I'm starting to sound like my grandparents. You tell me what you think about these kinds of situations in this lovely tourist destination of ours. Should all these kinds of behaviors be allowed or not allowed? Is it common sense to dress up for the occasion and not dress down? Let me know in your comments. No judgment. I'm just curious where we're at. And speaking of comments, let us see what we have for this morning, aside from lots of mitote. See, this is mitote. Getting excited for something is feeling all enmitotado. Lots of good mornings. It's great to see you. This one was directed to me. So good morning, Tim. Good morning, Laura. It's great to see you all. It is great to know that Glenn enjoyed both Bravos and Siam. Speaking of Tim before, your brother's restaurants are so popular, Tim. And of course, we love Michael. He is our community partner for both restaurants, and we are very grateful for that. Let's see what else we have. Oh, it's hot in Toronto as well. 30 degrees. Ouch. I hope it's not humid because down here it's not only hot, it's very humid. Laura says, geez, Costco calamity. Well, that was a mitote, that's for sure. Da, da, da. Hello, Manish, our favorite Indian restaurant owner. I think it happened around 4 or 5 o'clock. So if you were able to get in and out and get your shopping done, you were very fortunate. And now that I see Monish here, um, I want to do a shout out for his delicious Indian restaurant on Isla Rio Cuale, Rico Indian. Yes, it's getting hot and humid out there, but trust me, Monish and his staff will make sure that you are comfortable and you enjoy his wonderful cuisine and just great atmosphere. Larcito is out on a mission. Your own mitote, papi. Well, come back soon so we can have more mitote here in town. Monish loves the new word, mitote. Uh, Logan says, loving these Pixar-esque illustrations. I just love my AI. You know, I generated them all this morning before the broadcast. I figured if we're going to discuss a word, let's make it comprehensive. And yes, I did ask AI for a Pixar style illustration of a bunch of drag queens pulling their wigs off each other. And obviously, AI delivered. Let's see what else. Torres de Vallarta Mitote. Absolutely. What a mitote it is. But more specifically, how about the mitote that took place in Sayulita when the authorities went to demolish a wall that prevented people from accessing the beach? That was a real mitote. Let's see what else we have. Could we say Tina Turner's big song, could be translated to privada mitote? Probably not. Private dancer is private dancer. But if you were to tell me that you got me a ticket to go see Tina Turner performing private dancer, then I would feel a lot of mitote. So there you have it. Let's see. That's right. Tomorrow is Logan's birthday, and I am so grateful that you are choosing to spend your birthday with me and the rest of us enjoying the Rogers and Hammerstein presentation. What a lovely idea. Pum pum pum. Kathy remembers Poncho Dávalos on episodes of House Hunters. That's great. Or maybe the show was Mexico Life. All I know is I'm so happy to see Alfonso involved with the Gay Plus Community Center, and he's someone that I like and I respect very much. Let's see. Larcito says, great interview with Poncho. Have to listen to the rest later today. I need to get back to my mitote here. Happy bush pruning, Larcito. Or tree pruning. And speak of the devil, here is our friend Poncho wearing no shirt. I hope he's on the beach. I love it. Ponchito, what a great interview you gave us. Thank you so much for that. Mary says, Paco, I agree with you. People seem to have lost all perspective when it comes to appropriate dress in public. You know, I'm sure it doesn't bother many people. It kind of ruffles my feathers a little bit. You know, I don't let it ruin my afternoon, but I am more concerned about the people that choose to display their lovely cheeks, because there are some people that might just not feel comfortable with that and take action. And that's when the problems begin. Let's see. Logan says, what? Nope. Sorry, it's 2025 and I will hold hands and kiss my significant other on the lips whenever and wherever I choose. Fair. We have come too far and fought too long to give our power up to homophobia and bigotry. Fair. No problem with that. PDAs are fine as far as holding and a quick kiss, but when couples are really carrying on, I know it makes me uncomfortable, and I believe you should dress appropriately for the area that you are in. I totally agree with you, Mark. And for me, it's not only about same-sex couples. I mean, I get just as uncomfortable when I see a man-woman couple just exchanging saliva with shameless enthusiasm out in public. You know, get a room. That's just me. And Marie says, Wood Logan, fair. Again, it's nice to see that we all have different opinions, and I appreciate the fact that we can come and share these differing opinions comfortably here at Coffee and Headlines without any judgment. That's what I'm trying to say. And this is the end of today's broadcast. Thank you so very much for all your comments. Thank you so very much for feeling comfortable in expressing your opinions here. And thank you so much for supporting what we do. Everything that we bring to the table is possible because of your contributions to Coffee and Headlines through memberships or through occasional coffees. Your word of mouth is also so valuable. So thank you very much for mentioning Coffee and Headlines wherever you go. Now it's time to get ready for the spotlight this afternoon. So I will be at the Joint at 4 o'clock in case you wish to stop by and say hello or meet the new theater directors. And I will be back here tomorrow morning for more coffee, more headlines, and more stories. Have an awesome day.